Hey guys, welcome back to your Callfluent AI dashboard. This is Alex from Callfluent, and now that we have our workspace created and selected in the drop down top left right here, we are now ready to start or create our first Callfluent AI voice agent. And in order to do so, all we have to do is click on this big blue button right here and open our agent creation wizard. And as you can see in this model, in this wizard, the first thing you wanna or you have to decide on is that if you wanna do if you wanna build an outbound agent or an inbound agent. And the big difference between these two guys right here is that the outbound will allow you to call different phone numbers, while the inbound agent will answer calls made to one of your Twilio accounts. So depending on your needs, you may just go with outbound or inbound and let the agent make or get calls for you and your company. So for this video, let's go with an outbound agent, and once I select it in here, the next thing I want to do is to decide if I want to start blank from scratch or just go with a pre-made template. As you can see, we have a bunch of templates in here, and we have a lot more to be added really soon. You can filter these templates by this filter right here, by the niche of the template. And once you have decided on one, you just select it and click on save and continue. Now the next thing you will see in this agent wizard, agent creation wizard, is the agent configuration step, and this is where you will be able to configure your agent, select the agent language, the voice, attach it to a phone number, and do a few other configurations in here. So you will notice that most of these fields are required, so we have to go through all of these to make sure it's all good and we have a well configured agent. So let's give it a name, or actually let's just use the name in the template for this demo. And once we go through this field, let's go to the language drop down. And what's important to understand here is that the language we select in this field is what the agent will understand. So our agents can speak multiple languages in the same time, but they can only understand a single language at a time. So if you select English in here and someone is calling the agent, and or the agent is calling him, and the caller is speaking German, then the agent will not understand him. So make sure you select the correct language in here. Another thing that will happen if you select English as the agent language is that inside the voices field, you will be able to see 12 new voices that are only available to the English speaking agents. So let's talk about voices. If you are new to Callfluent AI, you will see that you have these 6 voices that are included in your account and that come at no extra charge for you. But if you select the English voice, you will also see 12 more voices in here, which are these right here, from Asteria to Zeus. And then if you have an 11 Labs account integrated in your workspace like we did in our previous video, you will also see all your 11 Labs voices in here, which are these voices at the bottom of the drop down. So let's go ahead and select one voice. I will go with an 11 Labs voice for this agent, and then in the next field we want to assign this agent to a phone number. Now, since my Twilio account is connected with another Callfluent account, you will notice that none of my numbers are available. So I have to sign up in my other account and make sure I free one of these numbers for me to use. So alright, so I just logged in my other account, and I've removed one of the agents I had in one of these phone numbers. And as you can see right now, this number is available to be paired or to be assigned to this agent. So let's select it. And another thing you want to know about these phone numbers is that you can only attach one outbound and one inbound agent to the same phone number in the same time. So whenever you see all your numbers are assigned to an agent, you can either delete the agent or just buy a new number if you want to create a new agent. Alright, so now that we have these 4 fields filled in, let's go to the welcome message setting, which will let you of course add a welcome message for the agent to say right at the beginning of each of these calls. So let's go with something like, hey, this is Sarah from let's say Callfluent AI. How can I help you today? So again, this message will be spoken right when the conversation starts, and this is basically pre-recorded and the agent will play it no matter what. Then the next option is toggling on or off the call recordings, and this is quite straightforward. If you want to record the calls, you leave it on. If not, you just leave it on off. And the next feature is the anti-fraud protection, which will allow you to block different phone types. Our app is running a phone lookup before connecting every of these conversations, and in this lookup we get different information about each of these phone numbers that we are trying to call. And one thing to note in here is that this feature only works for outbound calls, because for inbound Twilio won't let us block numbers, because this is meant to avoid you being scammed by people trying to drain your Twilio account. So if they call you, they will have to pay for the cost, so they won't be able to scam you. So this works only for outbound calls. If you want to block any of these types, just select which ones, and let's say we want to block fixed VoIP and premium, and just add them in this drop down, and any call coming from any of these types will be rejected before connecting to the agent. The next option is voicemail detection, and if we toggle this on, the agent at the beginning of the conversation will try to detect if the guy on the other side of the call is a machine, like a voicemail, or just a human being. If he detects there is a machine answering your call, then you have 2 options. You can leave him a message, or you can just hang up the call. And then the last settings in this configuration step is the advanced settings window. We have just added this few days ago, and this will let you control the way our speech detection and speech LLM works during the conversations. You will be able to select the creativity of the answers by dragging this slider in here, the speech stop sensitivity, which is basically a number of words that the agent will wait before interrupting an audio. So when our agent is giving an answer to the caller, but the caller tries to stop him, it will wait for at least 3 words to be spoken by the caller, and then it will stop. So this is the speech stop sensitivity. Then we have the silenced message delay, which will trigger the "Are you there?" message after a number of seconds, and by default this is set at 10. So if nobody is saying anything for 10 seconds, then the agent will ask him, "Are you still there?" And then again we have the silence end call, which will mean that if he's not responding to this, or is not saying anything at all for 25 seconds, the call will just hang up. Then we have the utterance detection, which will basically control how fast or how slow the agent will start triggering the response. And by default this can be 1 second minimum, And this means is that the agent will wait 1 more second after the last word detected in the conversation before starting to generate an answer and answering to whatever was said in the previous message. Then the concurrent answer generation is basically an option to delay how fast the answer will be generated, because we also have an algorithm that's gonna start generating answers before this utterance detection trigger. So if you wanna start it really fast, you leave it at 10, which is the minimum. If you want to have more relevant answers or a much more comprehensive conversation, you just increase it to something like 400 or something like that, and then the answer will wait for a lot more context to come in before actually generating it. Then you can transcribe filler words like or by toggling this on. Control the max tokens, which is by default set to 250, and this is how much context you will give to OpenAI for every answer. So like the history of the conversation will go to OpenAI in a limit of 250 tokens, and it's okay to have it higher, but the higher it goes, the bigger the delay from OpenAI it will be. So you need to find a balance between the context and the delay to make sure the agent works as you want him to. Then we have the answer length, which will allow you to limit the length of the answer coming from the agent. And this is again allowing you to control the delay, because the bigger the response, the higher is the delay from the OpenAI answer generation API. So again, you will have to play with all of these and find a balance between the speed of the answer and the amount of context and the quality of the answer given by our agents. Once you have all of these settings in place and all is set up correctly, you can go ahead and click on next. Okay, let's just fill this in. Click on next and make sure and move to the next step, which is customize behavior, which will basically allow us to train our agent on how to speak, how the conversation goes, and the type of conversation we want our agents to have during these calls. So let's cover that in our next video and see what we can do inside of this customized behavior window.